1. The idealist Daniel Carter was known as the kindest person in his social circle. Growing up in a small town, he believed in the power of connection, loyalty, and honesty. He was the friend who never spoke behind anyone's back, the coworker who gave credit where it was due, and the neighbor who helped without expecting anything in return. When he moved to the city for a new job, he carried these values with him. At networking events, he introduced people without ulterior motives. In the office, he championed his colleagues' ideas. He believed that good relationships were built on trust and selflessness. But Daniel soon realized that the world didn't always reward kindness. His colleagues advanced while he remained overlooked. His so-called friends only reached out when they needed something. One day, when a promotion he had worked tirelessly for went to a less competent coworker who played office politics better, something inside him shifted. 2. The pragmatist Daniel decided to change his approach. If the world ran on social strategy, he would learn the rules. He started making calculated decisions. He still helped others, but only when it also benefited him. He cultivated relationships not out of genuine connection but out of strategic advantage. He learned to flatter the right people and align himself with those in power. When he spoke, he chose his words carefully, always considering how they could position him better. This shift worked. Within a year, he secured a management position. His social circle expanded, and he was invited to exclusive gatherings. People admired him for his intelligence and influence, though few saw the shift from sincerity to strategy. But over time, pragmatism wasn't enough. He saw others getting ahead by being even more ruthless, and so, he adapted again. 3. The ruthless operator Daniel no longer cared about fairness or mutual benefit-only power. He manipulated alliances, playing friends and colleagues against each other. He subtly undermined competitors while maintaining an air of politeness. He befriended powerful people only to discard them once they were no longer useful. At work, he took credit for ideas he had merely refined. Socially, he spread rumors. When it served him, he didn't betray people outright. He was too careful for that, but he positioned himself so that when someone fell, he was the one standing. His rise seemed unstoppable. But power built on fear and calculation is fragile. The people he had used started turning on him. His name became synonymous with distrust. Invitations stopped coming. At work, younger, hungrier colleagues plotted his downfall, just as he had once done to others. When his biggest ally, the executive who had mentored him, was fired, Daniel was left exposed. Within months, he was forced out, his reputation in tatters. 4. The return to goodness. For the first time in years, Daniel was alone. The network he had built was gone. He had no real friends, only former allies who wanted nothing to do with him. Left with no one to impress, he reflected on who he had become. He realized that while kindness had once made him naive, ruthlessness had made him hollow. There had to be a middle ground. So, he rebuilt not through strategy, but through sincerity. He reached out to people he had wronged and apologized, not expecting forgiveness, but offering it anyway. He helped others without thinking about what he would gain. He took a job with less power but more meaning, mentoring younger professionals, without expecting anything in return. Some never trusted him again. Some friendships were beyond repair. But slowly, a new circle formed, not out of people he had manipulated, but of those who valued him for who he truly was. Daniel had come full circle. He had learned that power and influence meant nothing without real connection. He had lost everything, but in doing so, he had finally found himself again.